Hey guys, welcome to another video. I'm Olive from yamponzo.com. There's a written pattern available to go with this video from sizes extra small to 5XL. The link to the written pattern will be in the description box. And for this, we're going to be using finger and weight yarn, 3mm hook, a pair of scissors, and a tapestry needle. To begin, make a slip knot, and then make a chain of 117. I'm back and I have 117 chains. So we're going to skip the first two chains and then we're going to work into the third chain from a hook, and we're going to be working a double crochet stitch. So how to work a double crochet stitch is to yarn over and then into the chain you're supposed to work into, which is going to be the third chain from a hook. Insert your hook into the chain, okay, then yarn over, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, okay, yarn over into the next chain, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, and then pull through 2, okay. So continue and put 1 DC in every single chain until the end, and then I'll meet you guys back. Okay, I'm back and I'm at the end of row 1. You should have 115 stitches. The first 2 chains don't count as a stitch. To begin row 2, chain 2 and then 10. This doesn't count as a stitch. Okay. So into the first stitch we're going to be working a DC, which is a double crochet stitch. Into the first stitch work a double crochet, okay, and then into the next work a double crochet. Continue until the end of the row and then I'll meet you guys back. Okay, I'm at the end of row 2. Now for the back panel, go ahead and repeat row 2 until you get to row 66. This is my back panel. I'm done. After row 66, go ahead and fasten off, and then for the front panel you're going to begin the same way you began the back panel, but then repeat row 2 until you get to row 34, and then I'll meet you guys back. Okay, I'm back and I'm at the end of row 42. So sorry I didn't come back to show you guys the color change when I started row 35, but then this is not really a step-by-step video tutorial. This has a free written pattern on my blog, so you can go ahead and check that out. This video is just for me to show you guys the salient points, okay? So for this is actually a greenish blue, like a dark teal, but it doesn't look like that in the camera, but it's a greenish blue. So I did 2 rows for that. That was row 35, 36, and then next I did a single row of white, and for the sky blue I did 2 rows. Then for this I did 1, and then for this bright orange I did 1 and then another row of white. So I'm going to be doing the last color stripe, so I'm going to show you guys how to. So to begin row 43, yes, remember this is for a size medium, chain 1, 2, and then 10, okay, and into the first stitch work a DC. Remember the starting chain 2s don't count as a stitch, okay. So work your first stitch and work the second, okay. Go ahead and work 13 more DCs and then I'll meet you guys back. Okay guys, I'm back and about to work the 15th DC. Okay, to achieve this clean color change, what you're going to do is you're going to start the way you start a DC, Okay, then yarn over, pull through 2, and then grab your new color, which is this wine red for me, insert, and then pull through with the new color. Okay, can you see the stitch has the body of the stitch is in white, while this top loop, which is going to be the top loop of the next stitch, is in the other color. Okay, so we're going to work DC using this color until we have 15 DCs remaining. Okay, so to start off, into the next stitch, insert your hook. Sorry, goodness. Insert your hook, then pull through. Okay, to the next. Okay. Little tip to help keep your work neat. Odd number starting rows are on the right side, which means this is the right side of this top. Okay, so make sure to keep all the yarn tails at the wrong side. Okay, so this is my right side. If you look, you can see that I don't have any tails on this side, so this is neat. Then on the back here I have a few of them. Okay, so I'm going to weave in the tails in the wrong side while my right side remains clean. Okay, continue placing a DC in every single stitch until you have 16 DCs remaining unworked, and then I'll meet you guys back so we can change back colors. Okay, I'm back and I have 16 DCs remaining unworked. Now to work the last one in this color, insert your hook and start off. Okay, to finish the stitch, grab your new color, which is white or your main color, and then pull through. Okay, and that's it. Now work the next 15, the remaining 15 DCs in white. And remember that your yarn tail should always be at the back, at the wrong side of the work. Okay, so work the remaining in white, and then I'll meet you guys back at the end of the row. Okay, I'm at the end of row 43. Now to begin row 44, chain 2 and then turn a work. Okay, so now we are working on the wrong side. Okay, so work a DC in your first stitch. Okay, and in next 13 stitches, and then I'll meet you guys back. Okay, I'm back. I have 14 DCs, and guys, I forgot to mention this. When we changed colors here, you should leave your white still attached to the bow. Do not cut the yarn. Okay, so the yarn that we attached here should be another ball of yarn, so you should have 2 balls of yarn. So to work the 15th stitch in white, which is the last stitch in white, start off a DC into the stitch, then pull through 2, and to complete the stitch you're going to bring over this white to this side. Remember, this is the wrong side, and then all our tails should be on the wrong side. Okay, and then pick up, keep your yarn organized. Okay, bring the white here and then pick up this color, which is the next color. Pick it up. Okay, make sure not to pull too tight, and just yarn over with the color and finish up your stitch. Okay, so let me do that again. To work the last stitch in white, before you change colors to the wine red, okay, so start off a DC, yarn over into the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then pull through 2. Okay, and then bring the white or your main color to the wrong side, and then pick up the next color, which is going to be this, and then yarn over with that color and finish off the DC, and then continue using that color to work in the next stitches until you have 15 stitches remaining. Okay, so into the next stitch, sorry, working a DC, into the next, work a DC, okay, into the next, work a DC, sorry, to the next, work a DC. Okay, to work the last stitch in this color, remember, you start off with, and then you bring this over to the wrong side, and then you pick up your next color, okay, pick up and then close with that color, okay, and just continue working DCs in your new color. Okay, I'm at the end of row 44. Next, grab your scissors and then cut off this, leave a long tail for weaving in. Okay. And then then cut off this other tail. Cut it off. Leave a long tail for weaving in. Okay. And now I'm going to continue with this one ball. Okay, to begin row 45, just chain 2 and then 10. Okay. Can you see the result of working the color change the way I did? Can you see? It's clean. Can you see on this side too? Okay, so to begin row 45, chain 2 and then 10 your work, and work DCs in every single stitch, and repeat row 45. I'm back and I'm at the end of row 53. I attached a stitch marker to the middle stitch. Just count 57 stitches and attach a stitch marker to the next, which is going to be stitch number 58, which means on either sides of the stitch marker you have 57 stitches. Now we're going to begin shaping for the neckline, and we're going to begin shaping the right hand side first. So to begin row 54, chain 2 and then 10 your work. Okay, and now we're going to work DCs in every single stitch until we have 3 stitches before the stitch with the stitch marker. Okay, so go on and do that, and then I'll meet you guys back. Okay guys, I'm back and I have 3 stitches remaining unworked before the stitch marker. Okay, now we're going to work a DC through together, which means we're going to be decreasing out 2 stitches. To work a DC through together, yarn over into the next stitch, insert your hook, pull up a loop, pull through 2. Okay, then yarn over into the next stitch, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, then yarn over into the next, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Now you should have 4 loops on your hook, and now yarn over and pull through all loops on your hook. To begin row 55, chain 1 and then 10. Okay, we're going to work a DC through together here as well. So first off, chain 2, so chain 2 and then 10 your work. Now we're going to work another DC through together. Okay, so yarn over into the first stitch, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through 2. Okay, yarn over into the next stitch, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Into the next, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through 2, then yarn over, pull through all loops on your hook. Okay, and now begin working a DC in every single stitch, begin working a DC in every single stitch until the end of the row. Okay, I'm at the end of the row. I forgot to say what row this is. This is row 54 for the left hand side of the front panel. So to begin row 55, chain 2, okay, and then 10. And now we're going to place the DC in every single stitch until we have 3 stitches remaining unworked. And then I'll meet you guys back so we can work the DC 3 together. I'm back and I'm almost at the end of row 56. Now we're going to work a DC 3 together again. Okay, so yarn over into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over into the next, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, then into the next, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, 4 loops on your hook, and then yarn over, pull through all the loops. Okay, so now repeat the last 2 rows until you get to row 63, which is basically working a DC 3 together at the end of every even number row and at the beginning of every odd number row. Okay, so repeat the last 2 rows until you get to row 63, and then I'll meet you guys back. Okay guys, I'm at the end of row 63. Now to begin row 64, chain 2 and then 10. Okay, let me show you guys the decrease, what it's looking like. Can you see this line? Okay, so to begin 64, chain 2 and then 10 your work. And for 64, we're going to work a DC in every single stitch until the end, no decreases this time. So work a DC in every single stitch until the end of the row, no decreases, and then I'll meet you guys back. Okay, I'm back and I'm at the end of row 64 and I have 37 stitches remaining, which is what you should have for a size medium at this point, because we started with 57 stitches and then we decreased out 20 stitches. Okay, so to begin row 65, yes, 65, chain 2, sorry, and then 10, and then work a DC in every single stitch. Okay, and then repeat that row until you get to row 67, and then I'll meet you guys back. Okay, I'm back and I'm at the end of row 67, and that's it for this side of the front panel. So next step is to fasten off and leave a long tail for seaming the shoulders. So I'm going to chain 1 and pull up a long loop. Okay, long enough. And then I'm going to cut. Okay, to shape the other side of the neckline, this side, the left side, we're going to turn this panel onto the wrong side. So this is the right side, so turn like so. This is the wrong side now. Okay, we're going to insert our hook into the stitch before the stitch with the stitch marker. So insert your hook and then attach your yarn, make a slip knot, okay, and then insert your hook into this loop and pull through. Okay, and I'll chain 2. Okay, and now we're going to work a DC 3 together. So yarn over into the same stitch you attached yarn to, insert your hook, pull up a loop, and then pull through 2. Okay, and then yarn over into the next stitch, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then pull through 2. And then yarn over into the next, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then pull through 2. Okay, you have 4 loops in your hook, and then now pull through all 4. And now work a DC in every single stitch until the end of the row, and I'll meet you guys back. I'm at the end of row 55. Now to begin row 56, chain 2 and then 10, and now we're going to work DCs in every single stitch until we have 3 stitches remaining. Okay, Okay, I'm back and I have 3 DCs remaining. Now we're going to work a DC 3 together. Yarn over into the next stitch, pull up a loop, pull through 2. Okay, and that's it for 55. Then to begin 56, chain 2 and then turn. And we're going to work a DC 3 together again into the first stitch, pull through, and then pull through all 4 loops. And I'll work 1 DC in every single stitch until the end of the row, and that will be it for row 56. And then repeat 55 and 56 until you get to 63, and then I'll meet you guys back. Okay guys, I'm back and I'm at the end of row 63 and you should have 37 stitches. Okay, to begin row 64, chain 2 and then turn and then work a DC in every single stitch until the end of the row, and repeat 64 until you get to 67, and that will be it for the front panel. Okay, I'm at the end of verse 67, fast enough. Back and it's time for us to seam at the shoulders. Okay, so to prepare your panels for seaming, you're going to place the back panel with the wrong side facing out. So this is the wrong side facing out, and then place the front panel on top of the back panel with the right side facing out, like so. Okay, so the wrong sides are facing each other on the inside. Okay, now to seam, I'm going to start with I think this is the left shoulder when you're wearing the top. So remember, we left a long tail when we fastened off the back panel. This tail is for seaming, so thread your needle. Okay, and now we're going to seam using the mattress stitch. Okay, so let me show you guys how to do that. So this is already attached to this panel, so what we're going to do is we're going to, on the corner stitch on the front panel, go from inside to outside, like so. Okay, and then on the corresponding stitch, which is the corner stitch on the back panel, go from in to out, like so. Okay, and now onto the next stitch, which is going to be this one right here. Go from in to out, and then on the corresponding stitch on the back panel, go from in to out, and then the next stitch in to out, and then the next corresponding on this in to out. Okay, so this is seaming using the mattress stitch. So continue until you've exhausted all the stitches on this front panel. Now we're going to seam the other shoulder as well. Okay, thread the tapestry needle, and since this tail is attached to the front panel, we're going to insert the needle into the corner stitch on the back panel, going from inside to outside. Okay, and into the same stitch, which is the corner stitch on the front panel, go from inside to outside. Okay, you've joined the first stitch. To the next, go from inside, okay, and find the corresponding stitch on the front panel, and then insert. Okay, go. So continue going until you've joined all the stitches on the front panel. Now that we're done seaming the shoulders, it's time to join the sides. Okay, so next we're going to do some counting. Okay, so grab a stitch marker, 2 stitch markers actually, and from this seam, okay, count down 14 rows from the top row here. So this is the last row, which is my first 1, 2, then count till you get to 28. So let's count. This is my seam, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. This is 28. And then grab your stitch marker and attach to that. Okay, and do that for the back panel as well. And once you're done, what you're going to do is to use the same stitch marker, like so, and attach it to the same on the back. Okay, and now you can go ahead and remove this. Okay, so basically we're not going to be joining 28 rows at the top. This is going to be the space for the hole. Okay, so we're going to be joining from the next row, which is the 29th row on both panels, going all the way down. Now go ahead and repeat that for the other side. Okay, next is to cut out yarn about 3 times this length that we're going to be seaming. Okay, so this and here. Okay, and then cut. And now thread. Okay, to join this corner stitch. Okay, don't go all the way. And on this, find and pull. Okay, and now on this, find a loop here, side stitch, and pull, and find the corresponding loop on the back panel. I think should be somewhere here, and then pull to connect. So basically what you do is you find a loop on one panel and go in there. Sorry, it's supposed to go from, and then on this panel, which is the back panel, find a corresponding loop, a loop that corresponds to this one that you did here, and go from outside to inside and then pull tight. Okay. And then on this panel, find a loop and go from outside to inside. Okay, and find corresponding loop on this panel. Go and pull. Okay, find on this and corresponding on this, and go. Good. So that's basically what you're going to be doing on this. Then find the corresponding on this, and pull. Okay, so that's what you're going to do. So continue. Now the next step is to work an edging around the neckline. Okay, and we're going to be working a crab stitch edging. So go ahead and make a slip knot. Okay, make sure the T is turned right side facing out. Okay, so this is the back. So just find the middle stitch on the back and insert your hook. And now you're going to attach yarn, loop from the slip knot, insert, and then pull our loop through. Okay, and then chain one. Okay, so crab stitch is basically working a single crochet stitch going backwards. Okay, normally when we work stitches we go, okay, so you want to work a single crochet, you work going forward like so, but to work a crab stitch you're going to work going this way. If you're right-handed, you're going from left to right. Okay, so into the same stitch you attach your yarn to, work a single crochet. Okay, that's your first stitch, and then into the next, adjust this, work a single crochet. Okay, so that's a crab stitch. To the next, insert, pull up a loop and work a single crochet. So what it does, it twists the stitches. So into the next, work a single crochet, insert, pull up a loop and pull through 2 loops. Okay, so into, pull and pull up 2 loops. Okay, so can you guys see it? Okay, so I just hit the corner. Now we're going to work a crab stitch into the same stitch, the last stitch that we joined for the shoulder seam. Work a crab stitch there. So we're going to pick up that stitch. So go in, pull up a loop and then pull through 2. Okay. And then now we're going to be working into the side stitches. Okay, so this is side stitch and this is a side stitch. So for every side stitch, every side DC, we're going to be picking up two stitches. Okay, so 2. Then second. Okay, onto the next side stitch. Crab stitch, same, and I find another loop on the same side stitch, pick up and work a crab stitch. Okay, so onto the next row, a side stitch, pick up another loop and work a crab stitch, and find another on the same side stitch and work another. Okay, onto the next row, the side stitch, remember, insert and pick up and work crab stitch, pick up another, insert, pull up, pick up another, insert, pull up, and so continue until you hit this, until you are done with this side, and now I'll reach you guys back. Okay, I'm done with this side. Next, remove the stitch marker. Okay, and then On this corner, we're going to be working 3 crab stitches. Okay, one will be from this middle stitch that had a stitch marker, and then another will be from this stitch here, and then here before we begin working on the side stitches. Okay, so insert here and work one, then to the middle stitch, work another, to the one next to it, work another. Okay, and now we're going to begin working in the side stitches for this side as well. So remember, for every side stitch, work 2 crab stitches from this to this loop. Okay, and come back and work 1 crab stitch. Okay, same side stitch, find another loop, go and work another crab stitch. Okay, then to the next side stitch, work 1, and then find another loop, go in and work, and work 2. Okay, then next side stitch, find a loop to go into. Okay, work. Okay, I'm back and I just worked the last stitch. Next, pull up a loop and cut. Okay, and now you're going to use yarn needle to just kind of, let me do that so you guys see it. Okay, next is just kind of find the loop here to just join this. Okay, and now you can weave this in later at the back. Okay, so it's connected. Okay, and next we're going to work a crab stitch edging at the bottom as well. So go ahead and do that at the back, attach your yarn, and then work crab stitch edging all the way around. So next is I'm going to show you guys how to work an attached sleeve. Okay, so remember we have 28 rows on either side of this armhole. So for every side stitch, same as when we worked the neckline edging, we're going to be working 2 stitches for every side stitch of every row. Okay, so attach your yarn to the bottom, the one at the corner, the armhole, sorry. Insert your hook into and attach your yarn. Just pull through. And now make a chain 2. Remember, this doesn't count as a stitch. And into the same loop that you attach your yarn to, work a DC. Insert and work a DC. Okay. And then the same side stitch, find another loop and work a DC as well. Okay. And now onto the next side stitch. Remember, for every side stitch, work 2 DCs. So find a loop, work 1, and then find another on the same side stitch and work another. Okay, so continue and work your way around. For this, don't pick up any stitch at the corners, just work 2 DCs for every single side stitch, which should give you a total of 112 stitches. Then I'll meet you guys back so we can join the first round. Okay, I'm back and I'm about to work the last DC, but if I just work the last DC, and slip stitch to join. I'm going to have a hole form here, and I want to prevent that, so I'm going to be working a DC through together. So into the last loop on this last side stitch, I'm gonna work, and then I'll find the loop here, so the loop, sorry, yarn over into that loop, pull up to the loop, pull up, and then I'm going to find another one here, somewhere here. Okay, then sorry, yarn over first and into that loop, just go pull up a loop and pull through. Okay, now I have 4 loops on my hook, and then yarn over, pull through all those loops. So as you can see, I've closed up this hole. Now I'm just going to slip stitch to the first stitch to attach. Okay, so it's attached, and now pull that slip stitch tight. Okay, pull it tight. And to maintain this flat look, I'm going to be turning in the round, so chain 2 and then turn. Okay, and we're going to be skipping the slip stitch to attach, which is this. Can you guys see it? Where is my needle? Okay, this is it, but we're going to be skipping that. Sorry, can you guys see? This is it here. We're going to be skipping it and working in the actual stitch, which is this last DC3 together. Work a DC in that stitch. Okay, and then on to the next. So go ahead and continue placing a DC in every single stitch all around, and I'll meet you guys back so we can work the last stitch. Okay guys, I'm back and about to work the last stitch. So we're going to be working the last stitch into the stitch that we slip stitch to attach for round 1, which is this stitch right here. So work a DC into that stitch. Okay, it's the stitch that has the turning chain. Okay, and now to the first DC, slip stitch to attach, and remember to always pull the slip stitch tight. And that's it for round 2. So go ahead and repeat round 2. Okay guys, I'm back and I'm at the end of round 8. Now to begin working the crop stitch edging, simply chain 1 and then turn. Okay, into the same stitch as the chain 1, go ahead and work a single crochet stitch. Okay, and now remember to work a crop stitch we go backwards. So into the stitch before that, work another single crochet. Okay, to the next, work another single crochet. Okay, to the next, work another single crochet. Remember, we're working this with the right side of the T facing us. Okay, so continue working a crop stitch in every single stitch all the way around, and then fasten off. Okay, I'm back and I've gone all the way around. Now pull this to a good height and then cut. Then you can now thread this to a needle, and now just find a way to connect this and pull tight, and then you can now go ahead and weave this in at the back. Okay guys, I'm done. The next step is to weave in all ends and then block this. Remember, there's a free written pattern available to go with this tutorial available on my blog. The link will be in the description box. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and please share this with people that will find this video useful. Thank you for making this far. See you in the next video. And also, you can sign up for my newsletter so you receive codes to get the PDF versions of all my written patterns at a discount or even for free. All the link will be in the description box. Bye bye.